This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in Raw.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and anywhere fine podcasts are available. Before we get to talking about Smackdown, Larson, just wanted to give a big thanks and shout out to Audible for supporting our podcast Going In Raw. For a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial, go to audible.com/raw. That's audible.com/raw. All right, Larson, you ready to talk about Smackdown?
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's do that. In a nutshell, I thought it was more bad than good, to be honest with you. Wasn't the strongest show. I think it opened with a stinker.
Oh, yes.
It opened with a dud.
Yes.
Shinsuke Nakamura came out to do an interview with Renee Young, and before she can get out half a question, Dolph Ziggler, he came out, his music hit.
Yeah.
And it was one of the more cringeworthy segments I've seen on SmackDown in a while.
Oh, yes.
It was not good.
No.
He started to do like his own interview kind of, and then he took the mic away from Shinsuke, and then, or he pulled it away from him, and then he sort of made a reference to him being like Michael Jackson or something. I don't get, it
didn't make a whole lot of sense.
It didn't make any sense.
And Dolph's delivery was slow.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had done it rapid fire, you know, it's like gone through this whole thing without taking a breath or a beat, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it would have been good still.
it was just an awkward segment. It was
it might have made the segment less awkward.
It was awkward. It just reminded me that, number one, I'm not huge on calling Shinsuke Nakamura the artist.
No, I don't like it either.
Call him the king of strong style. You
Yes.
have a million shirts that are selling probably very well if your NXT crowd is to be considered in terms of evidence. You have shirts that are selling very well. Call him the king of strong style.
Yes.
Do you not want him to do strong style? Is that what's happening? I don't know what's going on.
I have no idea.
Anyways, I don't know. It was just lame. It was. I was sitting there like, it was. Number one, I don't even think Dolph is a good first opponent for him. I'm not even huge on that, to be honest with you.
I think he's an okay first opponent for him in the ring, but the way they're trying to develop this feud is not good.
Yeah.
I told you before we started, like if they don't want Shinsuke to debut until Backlash, which is still a month away.
Ugh, yeah.
Then build it in a way so Dolph gets heat from the fact that fans want to see them fight.
Yeah.
Put them in situations where Dolph maybe runs his mouth, and you know a fight's about to happen. Dolph flees.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to have a whole lot of talking.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, I personally think it's a bad idea to wait till May 21st to have Shinsuke's first match.
I think it's a terrible idea.
I mean, what better way to make SmackDown seem like a major show
I know.
than by having this debut match on SmackDown?
I know. No,
I don't get it. The way they're booking Shinsuke right now, I don't get it.
The creative is falling completely flat on this.
Yes.
It's not being handled well.
Yes.
Let's see here. After that, so yeah, what happened? Dolph kicked Shinsuke in the gut.
No, he tried to kick Shinsuke in the gut. Shinsuke caught it.
No, that was last week, dude.
No, that happened today too. He didn't kick him.
Don't worry, he doubled over today.
No, he caught it. I swore he caught it.
He doubled over.
I think he doubled over to catch it. I don't think it connected because Shinsuke came right back. He caught it and then twisted him around and did the reverse exploder.
Hold on a second.
And then he was going for the Kinshasa, and Dolph fled the ring.
Look, he's literally kicking me in the midsection here.
No, finish the thing. I think Shinsuke's faking him out.
Oh, did he fake him out? You didn't say that part.
Well, I thought he caught it.
I just saw him double down on the ground.
I know, but I didn't. Did he get on? I didn't remember him to go on the ground. I thought he just caught it and did an exploder to him. Set him up for a Kinshasa.
Look at all this talking here we have to go through.
I mean, it's. I think it speaks.
Okay, well that was
go back to that
between.
one.
He kicks him. He had him on the. He was literally on the ground.
I forgot about that. I mean, it speaks to the.
I don't know. I don't know how he ended up here though. Look, I could have sworn he was on the ground. I could be completely wrong. This is bugging the crap out of me.
And
now.
I thought Shinsuke caught it again.
I mean, this goes
I think it
to
speaks to the quality of the segment.
No, because I do kind of remember. I remember Shinsuke being on the inside and Dolph being on the outside, and then didn't he say, "Did the come on"?
That was at the very end.
That was at the very end of the segment.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. He's on the ground. Okay, so I'm not stupid. So he kicks him. He's on the ground. Oh, he loads up again. He starts bouncing up and down. I remember this now.
And then he catches it.
And then okay. So then he catches it.
Oh,
then
he reverses it into the exploder.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so we were both kind of right.
I love how that happens, Royce. Why is that in our brains? Where like you focus on one thing and I focus on the other thing, and we wipe the other one out. That's so bizarre. That happened with the Eric Rowan music thing.
Yeah.
How I knew there was banjo in it,
and I knew there was a music box,
and there's both,
but we didn't hear the other.
I know.
I don't know.
It's very strange.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It's like you'd think, if that were the case all the time, that we would compliment each other, but instead we just bicker about it because we think the other person is wrong because we didn't hear the other thing.
Why can't next time it happens where we recollect something different, I'm just going to say, look, both happened. Let's move on.
Okay.
Baron Corbin then took on AJ Styles.
Yes.
Did they fight last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
But it was a
DQ. Baron Corbin. It was count out.
Back body dropped.
AJ got in the ring, counted out. Yeah, Baron got counted out.
Yeah.
I was surprised at this. AJ or Baron took a clean loss.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, middle of the ring.
They're really building up AJ. I mean, this is the A feud on SmackDown.
It is.
And it's pretty much right now, it's one of the only reasons to watch SmackDown right now.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, there was some
other good stuff, but this is the primary reason to watch SmackDown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is what I'm trying to say.
AJ Styles is the primary reason to watch anything AJ Styles is on.
Well, then Kevin Owens is
1B.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. No, and speaking of Kevin Owens, he was on commentary. He was looking dapper. He's doing the suit thing now.
And again, did a great job.
Oh yeah, he was fantastic. He was money on the mic.
Oh yeah.
Or on the commentary.
So towards the end, Owens tries to interfere, eats a kick from AJ.
Right.
And then AJ manages to get a roll-up win on Corbin. After the pinfall, Owens and Corbin beat up on AJ.
They kind of bicker over who gets to beat up on him before they both gave him they gave each other the look of let's both do this. It
was like us trying to decide what happened with the Shinsuke Dolph segment. At the end, we was like, okay, now we know what happened.
Yeah,
we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Out comes Sami Zayn to make the save.
What did I say would make this even better? Because his music hits and it's so danceable.
Yeah, if he still came out skanking.
I would have loved if both these guys were beating up on AJ Styles and Sami Zayn does his regular entrance where he's just skanking and he's doing the thing and stuff. Yeah, that'd be good. Anyways,
so Sami comes in.
He had urgency.
Yeah, gives Baron Corbin a haluva kick. And then Owens knocks Sami out of the ring, gives AJ a pop-up powerbomb.
Yeah. I'm still laughing over us bickering over that. Like, really? I thought...
And people in the comments are going to say,
stupid.
People in the comments are going to say, these guys should pay attention to the show if they're going to talk about it.
We literally were both watching.
Sitting here watching it.
We were both watching. But my gosh.
I think partially it was like what led up to it.
Yeah.
It
wasn't mind-numbing.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Dude, it was numbing.
So my mind started to drift.
Because people, here's the thing. At one point during that open, not to go back in time, but at one point, Shinsuke was shooting some Japanese at him, a promo. And the crowd was whatting Shinsuke Nakamura for speaking Japanese, which is anybody who is doing that, you're dumb. And so people on Twitter, our friend O's at Real Going in Raw were hitting us up saying, what is with this crowd doing the what chant during his promo? And then they were mentioning Dolph and his awkward references. And I was like, look, I didn't tweet. I was about to tweet this out, but I didn't because I couldn't word it right. My main problem with it wasn't the what chants. It wasn't the Dolph's reference. It was just boring.
Yeah.
It was just boring.
I referenced earlier, I think if Dolph's delivery was quicker,
maybe.
It wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
The premise of his whole promo was bad.
Yeah, it was lousy.
But at least it might not have been as awkward.
Yeah.
It's a bad premise, but at least it could have been slightly, maybe, I don't know, slightly less awkward.
Dude, I'll tell you this. You know how you could have made it better? I'll guarantee you this. If they sent Kevin Owens out there with the exact same information when he did it, it would have been good.
Yeah.
It would have been good because he can make pretty much anything entertaining.
I know.
But it's Dolph. And I'm not even an anti-Dolph guy.
No, I'm not either.
It's just I've never been huge on Dolph as heel, actually, now that I think about it. He's just kind of grating. You know what I mean? Anyways. And now there's not even really a reason for him to be heel. Charlotte gave an interview where she said, I cleaned house on Raw.
She said she bleeds gold.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought it was a pretty good promo.
Yeah, it was.
Because she wasn't doing her loud Charlotte in the middle of the ring thing. She was doing her Charlotte cadence. But it was well written.
It was.
Yeah, it was well written. She said, I basically cleaned out house on Raw. And yeah, like you said, I bleed gold. And I'm going to beat Naomi for her title tonight.
Yes.
Which was the main event.
It was.
But this whole bit was my favorite. The tag team beat the clock challenge to determine the new #1 contender for the Usos title. And so there were 2 matches.
Yeah, let's refresh on the beat the clock challenge rules real quick.
Yeah.
Pretty much whoever wins their match fastest.
Yes, correct.
Wins the challenge.
Exactly.
#1 contender for the tag team titles.
Opening it up was American Alpha Team versus the Colognes, formerly known as the Shining Stars.
Who had new tights.
They had new tights. That's right. One thing about this match, though, like, I think I saw this on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, they're totally right about this. There was no sense of urgency, seemingly, between either of these teams. They sauntered and milled. I mean, a little bit.
There was a number of quick pinfall attempts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Especially in the first half.
Yeah.
But then, there was moments where I
feel like there should have been more of a frenetic pace.
There shouldn't have been any headlocks.
Yeah. Exactly. It should have all been finishers.
Yes.
Why not just all do finishers?
Which we eventually got about 5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes and 17 seconds in.
Okay.
When American Alpha hit Grand Amplitude.
Is that the name of their finish?
Yep.
I am so ignorant when it comes to so many finish names. Like, you'll bust them out and they'll be like, oh, that is what it's called. No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only have so much up in this noggin that I don't have a lot of free space up there, man.
I'm starting to think I don't either anymore.
Like, you know what? I wonder if it's this. I wonder if there's any scientific basis for this. You and I fill in each other's gaps in a non-sexual way. We fill in the gaps for each other. But we don't, like you said, we don't compliment each other.
No.
It's just, I'm going to pay attention.
We're like the same poles of a magnet. We push each other away, it seems like.
Exactly. Anyway, so we were told by Tom Phillips that Rusev is going to give us a video.
Rusev's response to the Superstar Shakeup. So after commercial, we get a iPhone video of Rusev in the gym. And Rusev says he is not happy about the Superstar Shakeup.
No, hold on. He says, I don't like Raw General Manager Daniel Bryan. I don't like Raw Commissioner Shane McMahon.
And he says if he doesn't get a championship match at Money in the Bank, he's going back to Bulgaria.
Yep. He's out. He's out it. Money in the Bank
is June.
When is Jinder supposed to get his title shot?
Backlash in May.
Backlash in May. So they're going to do May, June. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
But he just said championship match. I assume that means WWE championship.
But if he wants top belt, that's a U.S. title.
Yeah.
But he did say, on Twitter, he said something like, I'm just tired of this. I haven't had a championship.
Yeah,
I think he means the big
Yeah,
belts.
he does. Because
Yeah.
he said I went undefeated for a year and never had a chance at the world title.
Which is a very good point. We both think that he deserves this.
Oh, yes.
Quite a bit.
Very much so.
Let's see here. Then we had a Becky Lynch interview where she was talking about her complex relationship with Charlotte. But before she could dive too deep into it, she was interrupted by Natalia, Tamina, Carmella, and Ellsworth, the new faction who don't have a name yet, but they placed their stamp on the show tonight.
Yes, they did.
Talk about that a little bit later. They said, Becky Lynch, whose side are you on? I think Becky Lynch is going to be the Hogan of that group, man. She's going to be the NWO. The Hogan
you think so?
I do. I was surprised. I thought, well, we'll get to it in a minute.
But if that happens, there's not a whole lot of faces in the SmackDown Women's division.
You got the champion and Charlotte. It's kind of all you need.
2 of 7 or 8 competitors.
Somebody else can come over. They'll call up Liv Morgan.
Okay.
She'll be, although she's kind of redundant with Charlotte, with Carmella around. Let's see here. Then we had my dog barking, running outside. Then we had Randy Orton versus Rowan.
Eric Rowan in a rematch from their match 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This time it was no disqualification. Because if I remember correctly, first match ended in disqualification.
Yeah. At what point do they talk about House of Horrors?
I mean, it was mentioned several times throughout this match.
Okay, but then didn't somebody say something like the House of Horrors is going to have multiple rooms?
That was in a video package later on, I believe.
Okay,
and they ran
all
the
right.
same package on, or as during Bray said that, I believe, during his promo on Raw last night.
Oh, that's the one I actively didn't pay attention to.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, the House of Horrors evidently. So for those who are curious, no, there's no title on the line here.
No,
Simply a House of Horrors match, probably going to be up there on the big screen
for most of it at least.
Although somebody on Twitter said Corey Graves yesterday.
I remember that. Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's going to start off in a house somewhere and end in the arena.
I remember him saying that, but I didn't know if he was just being, if he was cracking
speculating
wise
or cracking wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was, so I kind of didn't take it that seriously.
So confusing. Anyways, Eric Rowan took on Randy Orton. Obviously, it's a non-title match.
Had some weapons. Had a kendo stick.
Yeah,
came into play.
Should they even use kendo? Kendo sticks can be used effectively. I think Charlotte and Sasha used it pretty well. Yeah, they used it well.
Yeah, that was stiff.
In this one, so like Rowan was they bust out a table, and then Rowan was on the outside on the apron on the outside of the ropes, and Orton picked up the kendo stick and then very gingerly hit him on the arm with it. On the meaty part of the arm.
Well, they say that Randy Orton's a safe worker. He takes care of his opponents.
And look, at this point, I appreciate that.
Yes.
I absolutely appreciate it. That's going a bit too far. When I don't believe for a second that was love. That was 2 love taps.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did what he should have done in the first place. He just wound up and then he ran into him.
Yeah.
So he fell through the table. Poor Eric Rowan. What is he going to do now, man?
I have no idea.
He can't stay on SmackDown. He
needs to be in a tag team or a faction.
I know. He's a faction guy. Where was Luke Harper this episode?
Not on it.
Oh, man. Killing me here.
So anyways, Eric Rowan goes to the table.
Yes.
Eventually gets an RKO.
Mm-hmm.
Orton wins.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Orton grabs the mic.
Yes.
Drops a promo.
Yeah.
And is interrupted by the new #1 contender for the WWE title, Jinder Mahal.
Mm-hmm, that's right. And he starts running Randy down, saying that he's just like everybody in this arena. He doesn't like me because I look different. And then, of course, the crowd starts chanting USA in response. So that's good. Anyways, Jinder gets in the ring, cuts a pretty decent promo, very passionate.
Yes.
And then he starts speaking in his own language, which I did not catch. But he was very passionately delivering a promo in his own language, sort of keeping one eye on Randy Orton, one eye on the camera, one eye on Randy Orton. And then when he was done delivering his promo, he tried to sucker punch Randy. Randy was savvy to that because he's a veteran of the game.
Yes, he is the Viper.
He is the Viper. He started to take down Jinder, but then the Singh brothers, a.k.a. the Bollywood Boys.
Well, he had Jinder in position for the draping DDT.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And then the Singh brothers came in.
Prevented that from happening.
Broke that up.
Yeah.
And then they started beating up Randy. Jinder grabs the title, holds it up.
Yeah.
And then we cut to commercial, come back, and Jinder is in a limousine.
Yeah, Luxor limousine.
Yeah. Holding, he's standing up through the sunroof, holding the WWE title as the limousine drives off.
So if there's any question, and you brought this up, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. What better way to make this non-title? It had to solidify that it's non-title.
Not to have the title in the building.
If he shows up at Payback without the title,
it's obviously not a title match.
That's so perfect. It's like Jinder Mahal is still out there, and I know Mr. Mahal has a Twitter, an Instagram account, and a Twitter account, but an Instagram account. I want to see that title.
Yes.
Out and about on the stadium. They've got
Absolutely.
that fancy limo. You've got the Singh brothers looking like they're ready. The Bollywood boys looking like they're ready to party, Bollywood style. I want to see them partying. But then, they're trying to party, but then Jinder's over there doing this.
Oh, yeah, still trying to plan.
Planning in his palm right here. I want to see that happen. I think that'd be fantastic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
After that, we had our second Beat the Clock Challenge match, which saw the Ascension, who got the jobber entrance.
Yeah.
So you knew they weren't winning.
That's right.
Against the Fashion Police.
And here's the thing about the Beat the Clock Challenge. You know that whoever the next match is going to win. In this case,
there's been instances where
whoever
won the first match ended up winning, but generally, yeah.
But in this case,
there's more drama.
It was, wait a second, Ascension got the jobber entrance.
They really telegraphed it, didn't they?
Fashion Police were coming out, in a situation where it was kind of obvious that they, you know, that first match was going to lose.
Yes.
Like that, you know.
The time wasn't going to stand.
Right. And so in like, what was it, 2:49, 3:49,
Yeah, it was about
something like
2.5
that?
minutes.
Yeah. Breezango, the Fashion Police, ended up going over my highlight of the night.
Oh yeah, Chet Cheddarfield hit a Falcon's Arrow, picks
Yeah.
up the win, and they both Chet Cheddarfield and the Banker seemed genuinely happy they won that match.
If you look at the looks on their faces,
Especially
Chet
Chet
Cheddarfield, he looks so delighted. He looks like a little kid going to Toys R Us for the first time. It was fantastic. These guys bust their butts. They absolutely deserve some shine. I cannot wait. I hope they pull the trigger on this.
I do too. At least give Breezango some mic time.
Yeah, I know.
Over the next month.
I know, man.
Because they are very good on the mic.
I know.
Especially Chet Cheddarfield.
Chet Cheddarfield is the best. What is... He's kind of like a new age Terry Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't he a massive star?
Because he was the Red Rooster.
Exactly. Chet Cheddarfield should be a massive star. He's got all the chops. You are literally tickled every time he does one of his Breezango or one of his Fandango mannerisms.
Yeah.
Because they're so silly. And you're
And
absolutely
he
right.
knows they're
he
silly.
understands
and
they're
that's
silly.
the important part.
I
He
know.
knows what he's doing is ridiculous and silly, and that
It's-
makes me laugh.
It's so good. It is so absolutely good. Next up, we had an interview with Naomi. She's getting really good on the mic these days.
She's getting a lot more confident.
She's coming along in the ring. She's good in the ring. I think Charlotte. Long day. Charlotte, I think is kind of a challenge for her because she's a couple steps above in terms of in-ring work. But you can tell Charlotte once again was carrying this match, but she was doing a good job with it.
Especially the last third of the match where the pace really picked up.
Right.
And there was a decent amount of reversals and some high-impact moves. It was really entertaining.
Yeah, so anyways, that did lead to our main event, Charlotte versus Naomi. And like you said, they let this match breathe. They gave this match a lot of time. It was the main event. They gave this match a lot of time. They are really, I love the fact that they are really treating Charlotte as the huge acquisition. And she even said, I love that in her interview, she said, I am the premier superstar in the WWE. There's none of that women's division, none of that in the entire WWE.
That was great.
I like that kind of stuff. You know, that's really cool. And then they get the main event. So we had Charlotte versus Naomi. And, yeah, like you said, it was a good match. I kind of figured, look, Charlotte got her win last week to cement the fact that she is top dog in the division. And then, so we kind of knew that she wasn't going to win. I mean, they kind of telegraphed this.
They telegraphed the finish of this match.
Like a million miles away, really. Like
basically
last
a week ago,
Yeah.
So the finish saw Carmella, Tamina, and Natalya come in and attack both Charlotte and Naomi.
Yeah.
And they ended the show standing in the ring.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was cool. The crowd was chanting, "We want Becky." The question of Becky Lynch was left open. They asked her. They said, and here's the thing, dude. You can't, like, Becky Lynch is a top dog.
Yeah.
She is a top dog.
Yeah.
There's no Alexa Bliss there now. Charlotte is a face. Becky Lynch is going to lead that faction. That will happen. Guaranteed. Because they left that quiet. They said, where do you stand on the Charlotte thing? And then they cut away. And then she didn't come out to save Charlotte. So there's either going to be a tag match next week or something's going to go down where Charlotte's going to turn on Becky's going to turn on Charlotte. On Charlotte. All right, Larson, we're about to answer some questions. But first, I want to say thanks again to Audible for supporting us this episode. Audible has an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original shows, news, comedy, and more.
Yeah, audiobooks are great to listen to when you have to drive at least an hour round trip 3 times a week just to get to your friend's house to work. They're also great to listen to while you're out doing chores or at the gym.
Yeah, and for the Going In Raw audience, Audible is offering a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial. Just go to audible.com/raw and browse their unmatched selection of audio content. Download a title free and start listening. It is just that easy.
I've been listening to Bill Apter's Is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken whenever I drive over to Steve's house an hour round trip just to get here to work. And it's just one of several pro wrestling books Audible has to offer.
I've been listening to, they got a Dusty Rhodes book, and it's called Reflections of Wrestling's American Dream. Sadly, it is not narrated by Dusty Rhodes, so I don't have Dusty in my ear the entire time. But I was looking around the Audible site, and there's a Hulk Hogan book written by Hulk Hogan and narrated by Hulk Hogan, brother. So I'm definitely going to check that one out. There's also a Lex Luger book, and one of Chris Jericho's books is on there. And there's like a whole slew of other pro wrestling stuff. There's like a Junkyard Dog biography. There's all sorts of great stuff, so be sure to check it out.
Yeah, again, get a free audiobook with a free 30-day trial by going to audible.com/raw. That's audible.com/raw.
Thanks again to Audible.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, Larson, let's answer some questions.
Yeah.
From Triple H Finds It Funny. Hey, friendo, so WWE has come to Sacramento and hired you both for one night only. One of you has to be local enhancement talent and has to get stiffly mauled by Shinsuke, the artist Shinsuke Nakamura, and the other one of you has to be an interview bot and has to get stiffly mauled by Braun Strowman. And I'm throwing this in there, being told you're garbage. Which one of you is doing what job?
I know you're a huge Shinsuke fan.
Yeah, sure.
So I think you should have the honors of getting your ass beat.
Can I wear a helmet? I don't want to get my orbital socket broken like Austin Aries.
Well, that was just an accidental thing.
I know, but I'm horribly...
That's true. You don't know how to sell.
I don't know how to sell?
It's pretty much a guarantee you're at least going to break your orbital or dislocate your jaw.
Oh, God. Yeah, dude. But you're going to get mauled by Braun Strowman.
He seems like a safe worker.
Oh, man.
And I get to be called garbage by Braun Strowman. That sounds like fun.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
That sounds like fun.
Ooh, you know, we got this question yesterday. Who we want to interview? I want to interview Braun.
Yeah.
Braun, can you call our friendos garbage?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody who watches Going in Raw is garbage.
Steven Larson or garbage.
Steven Larson or garbage.
That'd be great. I want that to be the new intro for the show.
I always fall into my Ryback impression when I'm doing Braun.
Steven Larson or garbage. What do you think of my Braun? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
It's good.
Retired Dwayne Nix. Who do you guys see being the main event for Smackdown Live SummerSlam for the WWE title? Who's going to be the WWE title match at SummerSlam? I don't think Randy's going to have it anymore.
You think he's going to... When's he going to lose it?
That's a good question. He's not going to lose to Jinder.
I'm gonna say this. I think it's going to be Baron Randy at SummerSlam.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be Baron Randy.
You don't think it's going to be Randy AJ?
No, because they're positioning the U.S. title to be top title, and I think AJ is going to carry that U.S. title proudly.
At some point, they're going to have to pivot, though, to make the WWE title top title.
You'd think.
Yeah.
In a normal planet, they would do that. I'm going to say it's Baron Randy for the... Because they want Baron to be a big star.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's Baron Randy at SummerSlam. Baron wins it at SummerSlam. Ooh, that'd be neat.
What if Rusev wins it at Money in the Bank?
Okay, so we didn't really talk about that much. You think he's going to get a title shot at Money in the Bank? You think that's what that's leading to?
Well, I mean, that's what he wants. He said if he doesn't get it, he's not showing up.
Well, you think
Rusev's the top talent. You want him to be on your show, right?
Look, man, you know that. I know that. And
you think Shane McMahon's be like, all right, fine, go ahead.
And
no title shot for you.
Look, as evidenced by Fashion Police winning tonight, they're paying attention to the show.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be confirmed.
Yeah, we mentioned them in our 10 mid-carders that deserve a push.
Yeah.
Episode of Countout.
Hey, Paul, come turn on Going in Raw. They're daily now.
They got a lot of great ideas.
Hey, when did Vince McMahon become Frank Costanza?
I know.
They got a lot of great ideas. Let's see here.
Ask a question.
Okay, here we go. Eddie Minivar, what are the odds of Rusev being champion in odds format? I'm going to say not. Not anytime soon.
10%.
10? I'll go 5. I'll go half of that. It's still kind of the same, though.
Yeah, pretty much none. Sweet Chin Music. Hey, guys. Recently, I've been losing my interest in wrestling and sometimes considerably watching, even though I still do. Oh. My question is, how can I reignite my interest in wrestling?
Watch New Japan. Go to a PWG show.
Yeah.
Go to any local wrestling show, really.
Yeah. Just
Where
take
are
a break
you,
from WWE's product.
Yeah.
Because I can completely understand why you might suffer from some wrestling fatigue if you're strictly watching WWE's product.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You need to broaden your horizons, and it'll give you much more of an appreciation for the WWE.
Yes.
And by that, I mean, the WWE, they do some things. They do certain things that only the WWE can do.
Yes.
And you have to, there are some things that you can just really appreciate about that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We've had this one before, but I'm going to ask it again because it's been a couple months. Steve's comfy shirt, Liam Wagner. He always asks good questions. You guys have done a lot of things that many wrestling fans have dreamed of doing. Is there anything on your wrestling bucket list you guys haven't done yet that you'd love to do? I have an idea that I ran past you today or yesterday. I think yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
That I would love to do. So our friendo, what was his name? Who gave us that title? Oh, Penultimate Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Gave us the H title over there.
Yes.
And I was thinking I would love to put the H title or a Going in Raw title up
in a local indie promotion
and have a couple wrestlers fight for it and then crown that person the new Going in Raw champion.
Yes.
It'd be fun.
That would be fun.
That'd be cool. I'd like to get involved very, very on the fringe of the business. I don't want to take a bump.
No.
Don't even really want to deliver a promo, to be honest with you.
No, I don't either. That seems really nerve-wracking.
It really does. But it'd be kind of fun to
come out and present the title to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Shake a couple hands.
Interview them afterwards. What was the experience like?
How does it feel to be the very first Going in Raw champion?
Exactly.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank
Excellent
you very
match.
much. Here's your coupons to go. Here's your gift card to Golden Corral.
Yes.
That'd be good. Let's see here. Oh, this is weird. Look at this. Howdly Doodly Champion, the Diddly Doodler. You two have been tasked with making a wrestling promotion without any championships. How would you determine who is best wrestler?
That's easy. Tournaments.
Yeah.
All tournaments.
Well, he said no championships, but trophies.
Yeah.
You can have a trophy
You
or
win,
a plaque.
You win a tournament, you're a tournament winner. You're not a champion. You don't get a belt.
Yeah.
You're a tournament winner.
Yeah. Trophies and plaques.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Low-level writer Carlos Hackworth. Rusev should be happy to move to SmackDown. He was getting lost on Raw.
Truth.
Yes. But Carlos's question is, if you could take a popular gimmick from the past and give it to a current superstar, who would it be and what gimmick would they have? Carlos would give Kevin Owens Triple H's gimmick of the cerebral assassin.
Yeah, it's kind of
good.
It's kind of there.
Who could take Randy Orton's legend killer gimmick?
Old man beater upper?
Sure.
I would say I would do this. I'd bring Adam Cole baby in and give him the legend killer
That's
old
good.
man
That's
beater
good.
upper.
That's
gimmick.
real good.
Adam
Real
Cole
good,
would be
Steve.
at that. What did he tell Christopher Daniels? I'm gonna go home and wreck your wife. Oh man, that's good. Let's see here.
Matthew Barisic. Hey, friendos, could you see the SmackDown tag titles being transformed into a trio tag team title? He brings up the New Day.
You know what?
Who are scheduled to debut on SmackDown soon.
How awesome would it be to differentiate brands?
Oh, yeah.
To have a trios title
That'd be fantastic.
and a tag team title.
Because Matthew Barisic here brings up not only the New Day, if Shelton Benjamin signs, team him with American Alpha, Carlito with the Colognes, and then
I'm sorry.
And then bring up Sanity.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Agree. That'd be fantastic. I would love that a lot.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Let's see here. This is interesting. Pie Guy. What do you guys think of Rusev without Lana being his manager? Do you think it's going to affect his charisma and wrestling at an emotional level? I can't. You know what? I'm okay with it because we've seen so much of it. I'm okay with Rusev just being a man alone.
Yeah, me too.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's good on the mic.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to really affect his in-ring performance terribly.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented enough, more than talented enough to do it by himself.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. No, he'll have a blast. And I'm glad they didn't split them up. You know why? Split them up
brand-wise. Yeah.
But, because like they have a tendency of doing that when they don't like relationships. And I think it's because they agreed to do their marriage on Total Divas.
Could be.
That's messed up. Let's see here. Above titles, Alex C. Could Rusev be the transitional heel to get the title from Orton to Nakamura? I don't really see that. I totally see Baron Corbin taking it from Orton and then him feuding with Nakamura. I could see that.
Well, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they just did Orton and Shinsuke. That's a dream match. That's a money match.
Yeah, I know. Just given how they've booked Nakamura, kind of feels like they're gonna. Yeah, I would love a face versus face. I would love that. I think it'd be great. I'm hesitant to think that they would do that, but I would like it.
I think they would just because they think it's money.
Yeah.
Magnum TA champion Nathan Ragland. SmackDown is giving the Fashion Police a chance at maybe a push. Who do you think is next for a random push? He's going to give it to the Drifter. We did a whole episode on mid-carders who deserve the push.
Yeah. Name one that we tossed on there. I said, on NXT, Andrade Cien Almas.
We both said that, actually.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
You like his current gimmick of guy who's hungover.
No, I don't like his party gimmick at all.
Magnum TA champion Nathan Ragland again. How would you book a Becky Lynch heel turn?
You just did it.
The way I did it, Nathan. Way to call that one.
Interesting. Nicole 9volt. A simple question with the not so simple answer. What does wrestling mean to you? I think for me it combines. I mean, I'm a sports fan,
sure,
but I'm also a huge fan of storytelling.
Yeah,
and wrestling is pretty much, I think, the only narrative form I can think of that kind of combines those two things. I mean, there's storylines in sports, you know, and in UFC and in boxing and whatnot, but
not the way,
with the arcs and the potential crescendos.
You can't manufacture
because it's not choreographed and written. And so you see these guys who are spectacular athletes, by and large, and they manage to tell stories in the ring, generally without using any words, generally just based on their movements and their facial expressions. And when done right, it can be, you know, pretty darn moving, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, when we were at SummerSlam and for the AJ Cena match, you know, we walked in there thinking there's pretty much no chance AJ was going to win. And there were several moments in this match where we're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we had goosebumps. And then when AJ won, you know, we popped hard. It was nearly euphoric.
Is it? I mean, it's so weird that,
and this is a predetermined scripted thing.
Somebody's decision just to have AJ go over. You know, like that simple directive can generate such, like you said, goosebumps.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it's the same. It's storytelling. I mean, the thing that got me into it, I mean, when I first started hanging out with, you know, with your crew, essentially, because I was adopted by your crew, you guys watch wrestling. And I was familiar with it. I wasn't, like, weird and anti. I had an open mind about it. And I remember when we were watching, like, WCW and seeing the NWO, I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, this is like, it's just stories. It's just storytelling.
Yeah.
But then the more I got into it, and then you start watching like ECW or even like the cruiserweights in WCW, and you start to understand the physical aspect of it and the storytelling physical aspect of it.
Yes.
And you understand over the years, you really start to get a grasp on how difficult it is to do what they do.
I think part of it, though, you know, we've never wrestled. We've never been to wrestling school. But so we don't know everything about the process.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Of putting together a match.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, there's something still kind of mysterious about it.
Yeah.
That makes it almost seem kind of magical.
Well, okay,
because we've been to because we've been to film school. We know how to block a scene, set up the camera, and set up lights, and shoot a scene. We know how to do that.
Yeah.
And I think theoretically we know the basics of how maybe a match is booked. But we don't know the particulars.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And it's fascinating to me how that happens.
Yeah. It's like the whole improvisational aspect of it is fascinating to me because you get two guys who are operating on like basically chemistry with each other.
And when done right, elicits such a huge fan reaction.
The funny thing is too is that you can see when it's done poorly. When you see when it's done poorly, how amazing it is when it's done right. Because you can watch, you know, that great website that I've seen, SoCal Uncensored, which has been around forever, and they reviewed that like really, really bad, you know, card, and those, you know, it literally, dude, it literally looked like it was you and me. We had 3 days of wrestling training, and we started going. I mean, you saw that trailer for the Rooster Teeth thing with James and Lawrence, and it's like they had an afternoon with Johnny Mundo, and just the few things that I saw, they were better than those guys on the SoCal Uncensored review. And I was like, it's literally like there's guys who got 3 days of training and they have no idea what they're doing in there, and you see how awkward it is. You see how bad it looks. As opposed to, you know, when you watch AJ Styles and you know, Kevin Owens or whatever, Baron Corbin today, and you see, you know, it's really difficult, but they make it look so easy. You know, it's weird. So yeah, I mean, for me, the main thing is storytelling. But then you start to understand like how the physicality can be used to tell stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jordan Gonzalez, instead of 2K's showcase mode, should they bring back the Road to WrestleMania mode from the later SmackDown versus Raw games? I'm not sure. I mean, I wasn't really playing wrestling video games when those were popular.
Yeah, me neither. I would like, you know, in our retro gaming in Raw.
Yes.
I'd like to play some of those and see what those are like.
Yes, I agree.
So I don't know. I mean, I could imagine it's kind of a my career type thing, but just going to WrestleMania, I have no idea.
This is a great question.
Okay, go ahead.
Butch Bacon's grease catcher Jerome Murray. If you could travel the world with 3 wrestlers, who would they be and why? His picks would be the Elite because they look like they are legitimately having fun 24/7. That's a good answer.
That's a great answer. Travel the world with 3 wrestlers. Who would they be and why? I mean, I'd be hard pressed not to say the Elite. That would probably be my first answer as well, but I'm trying to think of a different answer.
The New Day. Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun too. You know what? I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to travel with the Freebirds because that would be a true test of my endurance and liver. You wouldn't do that?
No.
Just for like a week?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, man.
I don't think I could handle it.
I probably couldn't either, but I'd like to give it a shot.
Like after 2 beers, you're done drinking now.
Well, that's true. Let's see here. Oh, no.
What?
Western States Heritage Champion Matthew E. Williams, Esquire, says, next week, my Western States Heritage Championship goes on the line against Donovan Steele. Could be my last question as champion. Ooh. So he's going to ask, what would you guys do with Eric Rowan to get him over? He says, lol, kidding. Which male and female wrestlers do you think would make great managers? Titus. I really hope that they make him more of a manager for Apollo
I thought
Crews.
that today too.
Yeah, I'd say Titus.
Enzo.
Enzo for sure, absolutely. So there are a couple that are already kind of there.
Heath Slater.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe in 5 years.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. What about female? I'm going to say the Iconic Duo. They 1 or 2 of them would be interesting. Like Billy Kay, if they maintain that sort of, I don't know, whatever their shtick is, which is pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
I could see them being some good heel managers.
Yeah. I'll bring up Alexa Bliss just because she's a really good talker.
Oh my God, she's a great talker. Well, she managed Buddy and Blake, Murphy and Blake and Murphy. Yeah, Blake.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually said their names right.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see here. Skeletor Savage, first-time patron, long-time supporter from your time on 10 for the win.
Thank you.
That's going back 7 years.
Long time ago.
With the brand split in full swing, both SmackDown and Raw have their own exclusive pay-per-views. Elimination, let's see here. My question is, do you think Money in the Bank should become the 5th big pay-per-view with both brands being featured?
Yes.
We both say yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. It definitely has Big 4 feel.
The Money in the Bank match should have 3 SmackDown competitors, 3 Raw competitors.
Yeah.
No two ladder Money in the Bank ladder matches.
I
Don't
agree.
do 2 of them. Do 1.
Yeah, do 1. Yeah.
3 from each brand.
No, I like it.
I think
Because
that'd be great.
it's always special when the brands come together for something, and that's the Money in the Bank has become a special event. I agree.
Okay, this is interesting.
Okay.
Rory the Maverick Grace. Hey, friendos. I was skeptical as Steve with the Shinsuke and Dolph feud, but tonight has given me hope.
Oh, goodness.
Rory's question is, how do you feel about the artist formerly known as Gimmick? How do you feel about Shinsuke's gimmick? The artist. I think they call him the artist known as, right?
Yeah, look, if it's simply a superficial thing, if it's just title, if it's just that's what they're saying, I obviously much prefer the King of Strong Style. I don't know if if the plan is to phase that name out. I would hope not. It's definitely way cooler than the artist.
Here's an anecdote to share. We went to NXT Brooklyn last summer. The crowd was maybe, I don't know, what, 35, 40% in Shinsuke shirts.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And they all had 2 words on them. Strong style. Keep the strong style.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see Shinsuke out there and perform. They
I know.
Want to out there and kick people's butts.
Yeah, I know. I really hope they don't have him change his style. I can't believe they would do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
I wouldn't believe they would do that. No. I don't like the artist thing. I'm very glad that what's his name? Sorry, Rory
the Maverick Grace.
I'm really happy that Rory Grace is finding value in this, though. I don't want I don't want people to think, oh, just because Steven Larson are crapping.
The potential is there. Potential is there for Shinsuke and Dolph to put on a decent
Probably
match.
going to be a good match. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That this is so much crap dressing on what's going to be probably a pretty good match.
Yeah.
You know.
It could be a really fun match.
Yeah. Let's see here. I like this question here and now. Oh, here we go. Fatso Amore. He says, first-time patron, long-time listener. I've been around since the first episode with Dan, and even when you guys did the gaming podcast, in the spirit of Red Dead Rename, that was a little segment we had where we named the sequel to Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
In that spirit, what would you rebrand the Bollywood Boys and Jinder's alliance? He said, personally, I think them being the Bollywood Playboys could either lead to be big things or fall flat depending on the booking. What would you call them? I'll say this. I don't know what does Jinder call himself? The Maharaja? Something like that? I don't know what that means. Sounds cool, though. Come up with a cool sounding name in whatever language that's from, and there you go. Because I like when he says that. He says, you disrespect I think it's the Maharaja.
Yeah.
I think that's what he says.
Yeah.
So whatever that means, like come up with a cool thing, a cool name in that language, and bust that out.
Yes.
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, same here.
There you go.
I had a question. Where is it? Giovanni Lugo. Hey, friendos. I went to the Smackdown in Boston a couple weeks back, and the Fashion Police got a decent pop when they came out for a dark match against the Ascension. That being said, what % chance do you give them of ever winning the tag team championships? Right now, 25%.
Yeah, I'd say 25 is about good. I was yeah. My weird brain probably would have said 35, just be weird, because I think it's closer to being half than not. So that's why I say 35%.
Yeah.
I'd say it might be approaching 50%, but probably not. But I don't think it's as low as 25%. I'd say 35%.
Okay.
I'd go up that
that's what I
high.
said. Right now, it might change based on how the program develops.
Here's an interesting question. Brian J. from Monterey Bay says he was listening to Meltzer this past weekend, and apparently Dave Meltzer has a very unfavorable view of Jinder as number one contender. He says he prefers our more optimistic viewpoint, as well as the fact that even though I would like to consider himself a smark, he does like a bit of kayfabe with his cookies. I like this question already. Jinder winning the six-pack challenge means that sometimes the underdog is going to win, like in every sport. I agree totally. Meltzer did, however, bring up the point that Jinder might be getting over the Vince because of his body type. If Sami Zayn had Jinder's body, do you think he'd be Universal Champ by now? That'd be really weird and kind of completely against Sami Zayn.
And that's the thing. Sammy's character is the underdog.
Yeah, he's not jacked guy.
No.
That being said, I mean, he would be a completely different person.
I mean, his entire career trajectory would have been completely different.
Exactly. So who knows? I'm not sure if he could do like the maneuvers he does.
No.
With that body, I don't think that'd be the case.
You never know, though.
But I don't know. I mean, it's that's such a difficult question to answer. I don't know. And Dave Meltzer even himself says that so much happens, and we know so much happens on a whim with Vince that I don't know if I'd put it on exclusively on his body type, although I think his body type is just evidence. Triple H had an interview with USA Today where he said that, Jinder and Drew McIntyre were guys that we released and essentially said, go out and learn your craft, hone your craft, and come back with that knowledge. And he says that he appreciates the work that both men put in. And so I like to think that it's more, hey, his body type is evidence that he's taking it seriously. And hopefully, that it means that he's done it clean as well.
Yes.
He seems insistent on that being the case.
Yes.
So, yeah.
One more question.
Uno más.
Then we'll do trivia.
Uno más.
Jersey Soft. After the
Jersey
conclusion of SmackDown Live, which SmackDown champion will lose their title first? Randy Orton, the Usos, Kevin Owens, or Naomi? I'm tempted to say the Usos.
They definitely have, I would say, the more what's the word? They have the more expendable title run. I'll put it that way. They're more expendable as champions. Do you think the Usos will make it to SummerSlam? No. I think Kevin Owens might well make it to SummerSlam, and I think Randy Orton might well make it to SummerSlam, although it wouldn't surprise me if both of those men ended up dropping their titles at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Usos is probably a good choice. Although if you're only giving the Fashion Police a 25% chance...
What odds do you give AJ beating Owens at Backlash? Is it greater than 25%?
Well, if the premise is Jinder isn't going to win the title from Orton, well, let me ask you this: who has a better chance of winning at Backlash? Assuming both those titles are on the line at Backlash, Owens losing his U.S. title to Styles, or Orton losing his WWE title to Jinder?
I would think AJ has a better chance.
You'd think, but Owens is doing this face of America thing.
Mm-hmm. It seems like that's a long-term storyline.
Who would be next in line for if Jinder beat the odds? Won that WWE title. What if every week he just knocks out of the park? I thought it was strong this week. Yeah. Wasn't as strong as last week. It was fine this week.
Yeah, he did a good job. Well, he'd have Orton would have a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
So that would take place, I guess, at Money in the Bank.
Because now that he has the Bollywood Boys on his side, that's a protected win right there.
Yeah.
Protected loss for.
I mean, Rusev said he wants a title shot at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. You think it guarantees a face Orton with the title at Money in the Bank?
I don't know if it necessarily guarantees it. Because then they could always say to Rusev, well, here in SmackDown is a land of opportunity. You don't get a title shot.
You could be in Money in the Bank match.
You're in the Money in the Bank match.
Right.
Earn your title shot.
Right. Wouldn't that be something if Rusev pulled a Dean Ambrose, won at Money in the Bank, and then
cashed in
on Orton after his Jinder match? That'd be something else.
Mm-hmm. Don't think it's going to happen, though.
Usos might be those champions who, for whatever reason, just stick around as champion because there's not a lot of competition. And I'm not sure how quickly, A, the New Day are going to come back, and B, how quickly they're going to...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they keep on just saying coming soon, but I read somewhere that they were going to wait till Kofi was healed up.
Yeah, I know.
But that's another month and a half.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
I'm going to say right now, my prediction... Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the Usos. It's going to be the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Randy will probably... Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to Randy and the world title, what have we learned over the past couple of weeks? They're going to do what's lamest.
Yep.
So I think he's probably going to beat Jinder clean, even though Jinder has the Bollywood Boys with him. And he's going to beat Rusev clean and Money in the Bank, even if Rusev cashes in on him. And he's going to go on to SummerSlam and lose it to Baron Corbin. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think? Nobody's going to hold it to you.
I still feel like Baron's probably going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if at some point between now and SummerSlam, which I understand is not a lot of pay-per-views, there's a Randy Baron Corbin program just with them trying to make SummerSlam the summer's version of WrestleMania, essentially.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's a money match in the eyes of Vince.
Yeah.
Especially when you could have Orton AJ, Orton Owens,
Nakamura,
Orton Shinsuke.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 money matches right there.
I know.
I mean, if they want to make an instant star of Baron,
do we underplay? Do we underestimate how much they like Baron?
possibly.
Because we've sort of been with Baron through his ups and downs.
Yeah,
we've been keeping a close eye on Baron.
Yeah.
I
mean, I would suspect. I would think if Baron doesn't have a program with Randy between now and SummerSlam, if he doesn't win Money in the Bank, I mean, he's guaranteed a title program in the fall.
Yeah.
That's a lock.
Yeah.
Absolute lock, I would think. So I think it depends if they want to take their time with Baron.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's improved leaps and bounds in the last year.
Yeah. I think
so maybe they think if he has a few more reps, give him a couple more months, 3 or 4 more months.
So they always do the cash-in, or they always do the surprise cash-in. Is that in Baron's character to do the surprise cash-in?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind him calling it for SummerSlam after, like the day after Money or 2 days after.
That would
Money in
have
the
to
Bank.
coincide with a face turn because that's a very face thing to do.
It is a very face thing to do. Yeah, good point. Let's play trivia.
Yes.
All right. We have trivia questions from, what is this thing?
Trivia Mania.
That's right. We have this week. We have a modern era card, and which isn't really modern, and a classic era card.
Well, it's modern in relation to when the game came out.
Right, exactly, which is like 2010-ish.
2009 or 10.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 11. I don't remember. Which one are you doing first? Classic.
Modern.
Oh.
Yeah. Who had to spend 24 hours in a New York City jail after losing a jailhouse match to the Big Boss Man at SummerSlam 91?
Wow.
In other words, F you. This is, by the way, it's classic. It's not modern.
Yeah.
Who had to spend 24 hours in a New York City jail after losing a jailhouse match? Who had a jailhouse match with Big Boss Man at SummerSlam 1991?
Red Rooster.
He's Mountie Police. The Mountie. The Mountie is the answer.
You might as well just put up a finger.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
WrestleMania 9, the first WrestleMania to be held outdoors, took place in what city?
Atlantic City.
Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas. It was a Trump. I think Trump is Atlantic City.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It was at Caesar's Palace.
Oh,
WrestleMania
okay.
9.
All right. Oh, well. That was in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
At Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, that was Atlantic City.
Nope.
All right.
4 and 5 were in Atlantic City.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't that easy. Was that the one where Lex Luger came out with a girl that her butt was out?
Maybe.
He was the narcissist?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know that much. They're all wearing togas.
Yes.
All right. 2-time World Tag Team Champions Rick and Dog Steiner both wrestled collegiately for what Midwestern University?
University of Michigan.
Very good.
After Andre the Giant beat Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship in February 1988, who tried to purchase the championship from Andre?
Let me think about this one. Virgil. No. $1 Million Man.
Yes.
What was the name of Bobby Heenan's odd co-host during the Bobby Heenan show? Jeez, you're getting the tough ones, man.
Wow.
I better win this stuff today because, man, that is not cool.
What was the odd name or the name of the odd co-host?
No, what was the name of Bobby's odd co-host?
Humanoid.
Here, I'll give you a hint because it's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's also the name of a hard liquor.
Jack Daniels?
Jameson.
Oh. I know he called people humanoids.
I tried.
Humanoid, so I thought maybe that's just what he called his co-host. I don't know.
No.
Okay. What WWE Hall of Famer partnered with Mr. Fuji in the popular parody videos Fuji Vice and Fuji Hospital?
Yokozuna?
Don Morocco.
Oh, God, okay. Who became the first superstar to win? Oh, we're now moving on to modern.
Modern era.
Who's the first superstar to win consecutive Money in the Bank matches?
CM Punk.
Very good.
Actually, this is a question from 2012. It's a game more recent than I thought.
Ooh.
Who won the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match at the 2012 pay-per-view, but then was the first winner not to successfully cash in the opportunity?
Damian Sandow.
John Cena.
Oh, shit, that's right. Bummer.
2012.
Okay. In what type of match did Sheamus defeat John Cena at TLC 2010 to win his first WWE Championship?
Tables match.
Very good. Jesus.
Just guess that.
Yeah.
Who overcame long odds to defeat both The Big Show and Mark Henry in a steel cage match to retain his World Heavyweight Championship at the 2012 Royal Rumble?
Rey Mysterio.
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, okay. Boy, I'm eating crap on this one.
Yeah, you are.
What was the name of the faction that featured Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, Batista?
Evolution.
Very good.
In September 2009, what WWE Hall of Famer served as the announcer on ECW's The Abraham Washington Show?
Wait, what was the question?
In September 2009, what WWE Hall of Famer served as the announcer on ECW's Abraham Washington Show?
ECW's Abraham Washington Show? Was that the location? What is Abraham Washington?
I don't know.
What WWE Hall of Famer served as announcer? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Throw out a name.
I don't know. Is Lawler in the Hall of Fame? Lawler?
It's not Lawler.
Heenan?
No.
Michael Cole?
You've had too many answers.
What is it?
Tony Atlas.
Why would you keep on? Why would you act like I should know this? You kept on throwing me.
No,
Go ahead, try again.
No, I didn't say that. I just said, all right, throw out a name.
Tony Atlas?
Yeah.
What?
I got 4. You got 1. I get 3 cards today.
Oh, on ECW's. Okay, I was not watching then. That's funny. Okay. That's weak. Yeah, you get a lot of cards today. Boy, I really ate crap. What was it again? Maybe I need to read these from now on. I need to like read them off
Let's
your
see
card.
what cards I got.
I need like a
Ric Flair.
That's good. Nature Boy. Bleeds Gold.
Rikishi.
Mm-hmm.
And Chuck Palumbo.
Let me see him. Oh, I can't remember him. Is he alive or dead?
I don't know.
For all the marbles, is he alive or dead?
I'm not going to agree to those terms.
No? For all the marbles?
That's 3
For
cards.
all your cards, is he alive or dead?
Appears he's alive.
Thank goodness. Oh, look, he looks healthy as can be, too.
Yeah, he does.
Nice. A lot of those guys, I'm not sure, like this sort of late WCW up-and-comer guys, like the natural-born thrillers. If we just throw out all their names, I would have no idea who's alive and who's dead. Because wrestling can sometimes be grim. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm terrible at trivia, man. I should just...
You just didn't have a good day.
I didn't have a good day. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.